Come on, baby, you got it, you got it.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Catching Up with the Catrons. This is episode number 4.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's May 1st.
It is May. Holy cow.
Oh yeah. I was waiting for this day. I did my morning routine, and then the very first thing I did was stick up my Indy 500 race flag.
Nice. That was going to be, I was wondering if I should do it or not. I think I got to put the flag out.
Yeah, Indianapolis, May, it's a tradition. One of my favorite things is driving around the first week of May, seeing everybody's race flags up, getting pumped up, ready to go. I'm doing it to try to keep my head up, keep my spirits up, because we're not going to have a race this May. They decided, with this whole COVID-19 thing to push it to August. So just got to wait a little bit longer before we can hear some cars running. But you know what? I needed to see a flag up. I needed to get that feeling, try to live that tradition just a little bit. So, getting caught up on my week. That was one of the things I did this week. I was kind of waiting to get that flag up. Feels good to stick that flag up.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. The first week in May when I can get that flag dug out and stuck up and start seeing it waving around. I'm like you. When I start driving around and seeing the race flags, it's like summer's here. It's starting to feel good. Sun's shining. Yeah.
Yeah. Like whenever I've got friends that come in from out of town, if they are here, if they're lucky enough to get here in May, I love taking them over to the racetrack, showing them the racetrack. Everybody that I've ever showed the track to in person just can't believe the size of it, the magnitude of that facility. And if you guys haven't been to the Indianapolis 500, go out there, check it out. They've got an awesome museum. Cars don't have to be running for you to go out there and have a good time.
And I heard that they're starting to do virtual tours of the museum now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
So I'm going to check that out for sure.
I think I'm going to try to plan. So Ann and I have always gone back and forth on going to the race or hitting a boat. One of my favorite things to do is go out on the boat and just crank the radio and listen to the race on the radio. There's that's kind of a weird tradition too, where you on race weekend driving around, you'll hear people's stereos just blasting the race. So, this year maybe what we'll do is we'll try to hit a boat, and I'm hoping that, Indianapolis, all the TV channels, radio channels are pumping out some old races and things like that, just to kind of keep it feeling like May a little bit.
Yeah.
So another cool thing about my week.
Hey, look at that.
It's in.
Nice.
We talked about these shirts last week. This is a really, really cool thing, you guys. Buy a shirt, Indy 11's website. This is basically just support all the frontline workers, and the money's going towards them. Great foundation that's kind of facilitating that thing. So, super pumped that my shirt came in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So my shirt's in, my flag's up. Got a ton of houses to show today, so I'm excited that we got a nice sunny day to get out and look at some houses. So
that's perfect.
How was your week?
The week's been pretty good. It was kind of cold and rainy and gray at the beginning of this week, and so I didn't really get a chance to get out and do much outside, but it's been pretty decent for the last couple of days. I've been pretty productive in the yard. We had a bunch of mulch delivered. And I finally finished chopping up this tree that was taken down. My poison ivy's clearing up.
You look great.
I've been showing houses for the last couple of days, so it's been a good week.
That's awesome.
Went and took the new puppy to get its shots today, and so the puppy's doing good and he's healthy. And the only thing I haven't done is put my flag up yet. So it's a good week.
Are you still on the steroids?
No, I decided I needed to get off the steroids. It was weird dreams and just kind of causing me to be a little aggravated. out of nowhere sometimes. So I know the doctor said to stay on it for a little while, but I'm jumping off the steroid train.
Yeah, it looks like your poison ivy is all healed up. So
Yeah, that's getting there.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get caught up on the real estate world. Starting to feel like we're kind of getting back to some kind of normal
It
market.
does. Yeah.
Buyers are out, sellers are sticking their houses on the market. Houses are selling quick. We had a buyer unfortunately have to back out of a deal the other day on one of our listings. Got it relisted yesterday, got an offer within the first hour that we stuck that house on the market. And we had that thing back to pending and under contract 3 hours after we had listed it.
Yeah.
So market is coming back up, not at the speed and the pace that we've seen, past spring markets, but things are still rocking and rolling. In fact, last week and just this week, in the last 7 days, so today's Friday, in the last 7 days, we've had 1,017 homes penned and go under contract. So it's a lot more than the last 2 weeks. I think a couple weeks ago, we were looking at maybe half of that.
Yeah.
As far as new homes listed, in just the last 7 days, there's been 553 homes listed in the last 7 days here in central Indiana. So we're still seeing listings
That's
coming
great.
on. Yeah. A lot of houses are going under contract. So the market's picked up. That's a good sign. I think with the governor's new announcement today, I think he's probably on right now talking about how the next few weeks are going to play out. I think we're going to start seeing this really getting back to the normal spring market that we were at. One of the things that's really helping is interest rates. Man, interest rates are still super low. There was some volatility in the market a few weeks ago. Things were getting, pushed around. A lot of the lenders' guidelines had changed, where your minimum requirements had gone up quite a bit. And unfortunately, people who were pre-approved, ready to rock, got the call to say, hey, you guys got to put things on pause until either they change the guidelines or you guys get your scores up. So for all you guys out there that are thinking about buying a house and what's needed, what's required, what are these guidelines, right? Well, there's a lot of factors that lenders are looking at, but the two main factors that lenders are looking for is your debt to income ratio and what that number looks like. It's how much money you make versus how much money you spend. And they typically before wouldn't like to see you having more than 50% debt to your income. Now the guidelines have changed. Now you got to have under 50% debt. I think it's probably around 43 to 45%. Before the guidelines changed, they were letting people go up to 55, 57% debt to their income. So debt to income ratio is one big factor, and the other factor is your credit score. So getting your credit score up, every bank's just a little bit different. You've got these guys, these banks, they are really investing their money into you, not necessarily the house. I mean, they are somewhat in the house, but really in you. So they look at things like, does this guy have a job? Does he have a credit score that's going to prove to us that he's a, financially responsible borrower? So debt to income, credit score, those are the two big things that they're looking for. Their requirements have gone up, but it's going to go back down. So eventually we'll get back to even some more normalcy with the guidelines, which I'm hoping is going to be sooner rather than later. We are still using the COVID forms, you guys. So if you're thinking about, okay, how are these guys actually going out and showing houses and being responsible?
Yeah.
Well, we're wearing masks, we're wearing gloves. There is a COVID-19 disclosure form that everybody's got to sign getting into the house. That's appraisers, home inspectors. This is for everybody's protection. So we still have those forms in place, which I think is a great thing to have in place for our protection. But guys, it's still a great time for buyers and it's still a great time for sellers. Take advantage of this cheap money. Interest rates are low. They're going to go up eventually. They've got to kind of keep them down right now because they're not selling as money. But once this market opens back up, once these states start opening back up and they start to make that money, you start selling a little bit more loans, then they're going to make that money a little bit more costly. They'll raise the interest rate just a little bit. But Still, great time right now to get out and buy, and still a great time to stick your house on the market with not a lot of competition for sellers right now. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of an update on the real estate market. Seth, you want to get us caught up on the entertainment side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot this week as far as sports go, but I did see that they're going to push the Olympics back to next year. And I just, it's one of those things where there's a lot of sports that you can't really go see. They can't really, pull off a basketball game or a football game right now. The virtual sports are still doing pretty well. It's not the same, but people are doing the best that they can to try to provide some entertainment in the sports world. But, I love the Olympics. And so
I do too.
I was really looking forward to it. And I was hoping that they may be able to pull it off. But I think it's smart for them to push that back. But one of the coolest things I saw this week, as far as music goes, there's an artist out there. His name is Steve Aoki. Man, he's a huge DJ.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He was actually in the process of I'm trying to pull up a note here. They just released an album, or he just released an album, Neon Future 4, and I haven't heard any of it yet, but it sounds like it's pretty good, pretty different from what he's doing, and really kind of different from what anybody else is doing musically right now.
Is it out for sale?
So they've got, so they've been dropping tracks. I think you can get it on, iTunes and any of that stuff, but they were on tour, and they were really kind of getting into that tour when this whole COVID thing hit. Yeah. And so their management kind of pulled them off the road and said, guys, we can't do this. Venues are closing down. We can't continue on with the tour. So we're just going to have to start trying to postpone some of these gigs. Well, he didn't want to do that. And their whole crew is just kind of freaking out. I mean, when you start to get geared up for a tour, it's a big deal. There's a lot that goes into logistically planning all the things and, all the stops.
Well, so just the mental preparation, it's like getting all jacked up before some big sports game, if you're an athlete, and then right before you hit the field, they go, no, we're going to postpone this, and we don't know when you're going to actually play next.
Yeah. And he's like, we're not good at sitting around watching Netflix anyways, but now that we were all prepared for our tour and we can't do it, they were just kind of freaking out. And so on that tour, they're going to actually drop 15 songs that have not been released.
Whoa.
It was going to be a really big tour for them. So they kind of scrambled, and there's the Neon Future 4 is 27 tracks. They've got 40 different features on there. Backstreet Boys are on there. Sting. Zooey Deschanel makes an appearance.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they've got it's going to be a really cool album.
Totally.
So when they got pulled off the road, they're like, well, we got to drop these songs. I mean, this is why we were doing the tour. And so Steve Aoki's been just killing it at home in his at-home studio, and they started dropping one song a day. Here's a picture. If you guys don't know Steve Aoki, he's a super creative guy. This is a picture of him working out of his home studio. Check out that chair.
Oh my God.
It took me a minute.
That's his chair?
Yeah. So he has a life-size version of himself made into a chair. That's his DJ chair that he uses at home.
Oh my God, that is so creepy.
Yeah.
And does he have other Steve Aoki like dolls? Is that a bobblehead?
I think so. Yeah.
On that studio monitor?
Yeah. But that picture right there tells you just kind of how creative this guy is.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
I know.
Dude, we need chairs like that.
Would you have a chair of me and then I'd have a chair of you, or you wouldn't be able to tell, really? I'm gonna look into it. I wonder who made that.
That is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, so he's just been killing it.
He's been doing shows like out of his house, virtual shows kind of thing.
Yeah, and I haven't really seen much of it on Instagram, but they've been like dropping songs, and he's been still like doing his thing during this whole quarantine, doing it virtually.
Awesome.
They had when he dropped the Zoe Deschanel song, they had 750,000 views on Instagram for that one video
Wow.
that day.
Wow.
So what he's doing right now is just awesome. It's really great to see what the musicians around the country and our communities around the world, and all the artists, they're all getting out there. I don't know how many times I've jumped on Facebook and I see a Facebook Live of somebody blowing glass or doing a painting or playing music. So I think the musicians, the artists are just stepped up. They've stepped up big time to really kind of provide for our communities and give them some more entertainment, keep that music coming. Now the trick is, how do we support these musicians?
How do we get them paid, man?
How do we get them paid? You know,
Yeah.
We know a lot of people that are without jobs, and there's no really end in sight. They don't know when they're going to be able to get back and doing gigs. But there's a couple of programs that I saw this week that popped up that are really going a long way towards trying to help support musicians and artists. The first one that I saw was, excuse me, the Louis Armstrong Education Foundation.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, they started a $1 million relief fund to help support freelance jazz musicians in New York. Austin City Council has created a $1.5 million disaster fund to help all their local musicians.
Dang, that is awesome.
And their main thing is trying to help support the musicians that are really missing out on that South by Southwest festival. You know, that's one of the biggest events for a lot of bands, a lot of musicians.
It's the first time they've canceled it in like 37 years or something.
Yeah. So they're doing some really good stuff. I noticed Joe Bonamassa, he's a guitar player. He started a non-for-profit, and it's called Keeping the Blues Alive Foundation. Basically, you send him your stuff, and if you're a qualified musician, he's dishing out $1,000 payments to help cover expenses and food and that kind of stuff. And they're giving out $500 gift cards to people that are still trying to travel. So he's doing everything he can to help his local musicians and all the musicians. Cool. There's the Artist Relief Fund. It's artistrelief.org if you want to check it out. But they're issuing out $5,000 grants to professional musicians that are out of work right now. There's also the Music Cares. I think it's musiccares.com. It's another charity, but they're doing $1,000 grants to musicians too.
Wow.
So it's awesome to see. I think the musicians and artists are going to start seeing some relief here soon. Obviously, it's tough to kind of cover everybody, but for getting everything started, you know, we're kind of just in the beginning stages of this whole thing still. People are doing a lot of good things to kind of help the local musicians and artists. So that was the coolest thing I saw this week.
That's great. That is so awesome to hear. Just that many people coming up with solutions, pumping out money, getting it back into musicians'
people are being
pockets.
creative. I think people are probably being more creative now than they've been in a long time. One, because they have to. One, because they've got a little extra time and they can kind of spend some brain power doing that kind of stuff. But it's just great to see.
Yep, that is awesome. I love when people can adapt to crazy times to support everybody and keep the ball rolling, keep this whole world turning kind of thing. So that's really cool. Well, hey, let's get caught up on some local business stuff.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot here today, and it's a little bit real estate related, but I think real estate and restaurants and real estate and local business kind of go hand in hand. You know, one bummer is the Bruges is closing down.
Really?
Yep. I think they have a couple different locations, but the Broad Ripple Bruges that has been open since 2005, pumping out some awesome food. Their Triple de Ripple was one of my favorite beers that was out there. They basically just can't keep the doors going, can't keep it open. So unfortunately, they're closing down. Good news is they say that they will reopen sometime, somewhere. That's basically how they worded it. So, I think you'll probably be able to get your hands on some of their beer if you did a little bit of searching, a little bit of beer hunting down.
Yeah, I love that location too.
I know it's a great location. Every
Right there
time we
off
have
the Monon.
yeah, every time we have somebody come in from out of town, besides showing them the racetrack, we take them to Broad Ripple and we show them the Bruges, and we've had a lot of good memories, a lot of good times there. And that triple to Ripple, man, I'm gonna miss it. They would always cut you off at 2. You can only have 2 of them, and I think one time I was like, "Come on, man!" I was like, "I drink a lot, like." I can't get the third one, and I think he still was like, "No, sir, you can't."
That's funny.
So we'll be on the lookout for news from the Bruges on when and where they might be opening up next. A really cool thing that's going on in Indianapolis. There's a business. They're basically developers. It's BWI LLC. They are now in the process of breaking ground on 37 new affordable homes in the Indianapolis area.
Really?
It's basically kind of the old north side. It's just west of the Children's Museum, kind of over in that area.
Okay.
Cross street is 27th and Clifton.
Okay.
And it's always been one of those kind of ready to go up and coming neighborhoods. The infrastructure's there. There's good restaurants. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on over there. So BWI LLC has decided to come in. They've got $10 million that they're pumping into this project to build not only, they're building 2 different styles of houses. They are building, it's going to be a mix of 1-story homes that are ADA approved, American Disability Association, and they're also mixing that in with some 2-story homes. And they're supposed to be very affordable. One of the really cool things that I think is that the landscaping for these units is going to be maintained by BWI for the next 50 years.
What?
So,
wow.
2 really cool things. One, they're putting together some great, beautiful homes for people with needs, people that need a little bit of modification to the home so it's a little bit easier for them to get around. 2, they're just making straight up affordable homes for families and putting it in a really good area where we need a little bit of a facelift over there. And then everybody's going to have free lawn care for 50 years. So
That's amazing.
Some really cool things going on over in that part of town. And I think that all the surrounding areas around there are going to benefit from it. It's going to be kind of a beautification / facelift kind of renovation over there. So super excited to hear that.
That's awesome.
There's a few other places around the city right now where there's getting a lot of money pumped into them. Those projects don't really seem to be affected by the COVID-19 situation we're dealing with. So that's great to see. And this project is kicked off. I think that the construction is supposed to begin in June. So my guess is by the end of the summer, the old north side is going to have a totally different look over there.
Man, that's sweet.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Well, I think it's time.
I was looking at some houses this week.
Yeah? Were they epic house fails?
Well, yeah, these were, so I kind of, I look at houses every day. And these were just like, I was just kind of looking at different kind of interior design ideas. And I came across some really terrible ones. So I wanted to share the ones that I found with you guys. So I'm going to bring this first one up here. This one it took me a minute to look at it and see what was going on, but it just seems like it's pretty dangerous, whatever they got.
Wow, that is sketchy, man.
Like, I don't know if that's a bedroom up there or what.
Did they not finish painting? And
I don't know. I don't know what. Well, yeah, they still need to paint. I don't know if they are going to put in a platform up here. I don't know, but
wow, no handrail, no. Dang.
the landing.
The landing.
The stairs look a little steep.
Wow. It looks like a painting. Like what was the guy,
With Dali painting.
Dali, it looks like a freaking Dali painting, man.
And
Wow.
this is an older house that somebody's been renovating. So
Yeah.
my guess is there's like a bedroom or something up there, but
And they tried
I
to,
would
yeah.
I wouldn't want to walk out of that bedroom in the middle of the night
No
on those
way.
stairs. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was
Sketchy.
kind of terrifying looking. The next one I saw, and I'm always on a bathroom kick. This one just, I don't know if they originally designed the home like
Is
this,
that a
but
bathroom?
yeah, it's like a bed bathroom combo.
I could see a lot of people needing or wanting that. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
I don't think I would feel comfortable sharing a bedroom with my spouse or someone and then having to get up in the middle of the night and use the bathroom.
God.
I don't know, man.
And the double wall sconces, or they got the wall sconce and reading light.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to tell, but I think that whole bathroom area is like carpeted.
Oh man.
Yeah, carpet in the bathroom just.
Carpet.
I don't know. I think the toilet's just way too close.
Not enough separation. At least put a half wall up, you know?
Yeah, I put a curtain or like one of those, one of those
Hospital
fold-up
curtains.
wall things. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that one.
Oh, that's great, man.
And then the last one I saw, I think it was just poor choice that the builder made. I mean, this was original to the home. And I don't know who designed the level. This is like an upper level, not a bedroom. I think it's more of like an office / hangout for the kids.
Lovely.
Play video games, but yeah.
Lovely.
I mean,
What
wow.
were they thinking?
I don't know.
Oh,
Again, somebody had to have walked up halfway through this project and was like, "What are you doing?"
that there's so many phallic-looking things in construction. And did they paint beams? Are they trying to create an illusion of some wood beams or like a copper?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell in this
ceiling?
picture, but I think these are actually like little short, thin, trying to get the beam look. But
Oh my God!
terrible design choice.
Terrible. Are those
Hilarious.
colors? Are those colors
Yeah.
pink and brown?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from the photo. I had another photo that I was looking at, and I think this wall here was kind of like a pinkish shade.
I guess that
I don't know,
goes
look
with
at
the
Couch,
thing.
though. I love that couch.
Oh my God!
I'd use that couch. Put it in the garage or something.
That'll be a good garage couch. Yeah.
That's a good video game couch, I think.
And they still have the old school TV and VCR.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep. So that's all I got for this week.
Awesome. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in with another episode of Catching Up with the Catrons. I think we're going to be looking at scheduling some more interviews with some awesome local celebrities, some people who are really doing some cool things around town, possibly get some of our favorite contractors on here to talk about maybe some epic fails that they've seen. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for watching, everybody. And
Yep, have a great weekend.
Yep. We'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
Catch you later, man.
Later.